Hi guys, this is Ting here. In this video, I have identified some critical support level for the Bitcoin and how I'm going to invest in Bitcoin in the year of 2026. So stay tuned. We are seeing here is the Bitcoin UTXO realized price distribution. Basically, this graph is telling us the support and resistance level where significant amount of Bitcoins are being purchased at which price level. We identify that there are three regions where the Bitcoin they are significantly being purchased at. So basically these three levels will act as the support and resistance level. So the first support and resistance level is the 110k to 120k. The second support and resistance level is this 83k to 96k, and the third support and resistance level is this 57k to 67k price level, which are quite significant of the Bitcoin are being purchased at. But I think there's one interesting stuff is this no man zone. It means that at this price level, like 70k to 83k, there's very less amount of Bitcoin being purchased at these levels. There's basically no support and resistance at this price level. So if let's say the Bitcoin price is 78k, I think it may be less or more when the day this video is released. If let's say the Bitcoin price drops, it will move past this region very quickly. So to reach the first support level of this 57k to 67k, which is the support level, if let's say the Bitcoin rebounds, it can move past this region quickly and then reach the first resistance level, which is this 83k to 96k level. If let's say manage to overcome this resistance level, and then it will reach the second resistance level, which is this 110k and 120k region. Eventually, if they manage to overcome these two resistance level, it can move past the all-time high. I think the moral of the story is buy at the support and resistance level and try to avoid this no man zone, which is the 70k to 83k region. So the blue line actually is the S&P 500, and the candlestick actually is the Bitcoin USD graph. So we can actually observe that the Bitcoin is actually moving as a upward trend, and the price movement is way bigger compared to the S&P 500. I also identified the simple moving average SMA 50 line. This line wraps around the Bitcoin quite well. So if you can see that actually after each correction, Bitcoin will normally find their support at this SMA 50 level. So moving forward, I identify two support level. The first support level is this 76k. By the time I published this video, I believe that the price already moved past this 76k region, but basically this is fine above this peak and then below this truth. And then also a reminder of what I say, actually the 70k to 83k is a no man zone. Let's look at the second support level. The second support level is this 57k to 60k region. This support line is quite solid because it just lies on this SMA 50 line, which all the previous Bitcoin find their support at. And then this line is drawn according to these two peak and this one true over here. And I also mentioned that actually 57k to 60k is actually a support level from our UPRD graph that I mentioned just now. I think that the investor will have more confidence in opening a position at this 57k to 60k region. So in this graph, I've identified some major correction that Bitcoin can experience for the past 10 years from 2016 to 2027. So basically, there's three big correction that Bitcoin experienced previously, which is the 2017, 2020, and 2022. So each correction is around negative 75%. Negative 55% from peak to true, negative 74% from peak to true. So applying to our current situation, if let's say Bitcoin correct around 50% peak to true, this support level of this 57k and 60k will be a good reference point. So if let's say a drop by negative 52%, right, 56 to 60k reference point will be a good one. So if let's say Bitcoin drop around negative 70%, I have identified another support level at this 34k region. Yeah, so this is the case where the Bitcoin correct around negative 70%. So as you can see, right, this cryptocurrency Bitcoin, right, is a highly volatile asset. So investor need to prepare more money in case the correction goes deeper into the red. This is regarding the Bitcoin price action. If we can see that before 2023, we know that Bitcoin's price can be highly volatile. Each correction can last around 50 to 70%. The period of correction lasts around 8 months to 1 year. After 2023, the price becomes slightly less volatile, but if undergo correction, it can still correct around 20 to 30%. So basically, this shows that actually Bitcoin is a highly volatile asset. In 2026, the best way to own a Bitcoin is actually buying through the spot Bitcoin ETF. So currently we have the IBIT and FBTC. IBIT is from the Blackrock and FBTC is from the Fidelity. And IBIT has both a total asset under management of 69 billion, while FBTC boasts a total AUM of around 17 billion, which is bigger than most of the Bitcoin ETF out there. So the Bitcoin ETF, both of the IBIT and FBTC directly holds physical Bitcoin, and then they store it securely under the issuing company. IBIT and FBTC are the spot Bitcoin ETF. Basically, this spot Bitcoin ETF tracks the actual movement of the Bitcoin closely. If let's say the Bitcoin rise by 10%, this fund will also rise by 10%. It's like purchasing the Bitcoin itself. If we buy into this spot Bitcoin ETF like IBIT and FBTC, it saves the buyer hassle of safely storing their own Bitcoin. It's like paying a very small management fee, and there will be a group of professionals that can help you to manage the security of your Bitcoin, and we won't be worried about our Bitcoin being stolen. For IBIT and FBTC, actually they belong to the same industry segment. And IBIT and both of them has the expense ratio of 0.25%. If we take a closer look at the IBIT and FBTC, we will find that the price movement is around the same. But I believe that actually IBIT is a better choice compared to FBTC. Firstly, is the total asset under management, total AUM of IBIT is around 3 times FBTC. And secondly, if we look at this graph, we will find that actually IBIT has a year-to-date net inflow of around 798 million, and FBTC has a year-to-date net outflow of 685 million. So basically, IBIT AUM value is expanding compared to FBTC. So here we start to sum up the video. So this is my personal preference of entry point of Bitcoin. I've identified 3 support levels. The first one, which is the 77k support level. The second one is the 60k support level, which indicates a 50% drop from the high to the current level, which is the 60k level. Personally, I won't be buying exactly at this 60k level. I will allow a tolerance of 1 to 2k, which is around like 58k, 59k or 61k. So it makes this purchasing point will be more achievable. Then the third support level identified is this 34k, which is a more pessimistic one, and it indicates a fall of 70% from the top to the 34k level. So if you want to know how I arrive at these 3 support level, please watch the front part of my video. As an investor, I will be preferring using this IBIT Bitcoin ETF as a vehicle to invest into Bitcoin. So this IBIT is a product under BlackRock. It has 100% of its portfolio in Bitcoin and cash. The price movement of this ETF follows exactly nearly same as the spot Bitcoin's price movement. So if we invest into this Bitcoin ETF, we don't need to worry about our Bitcoin being stolen. There's a group of management that help us to manage the security of this Bitcoin with a very small management fee. So as an investor, we need to understand the demand of the Bitcoin. So Bitcoin and gold has some similar properties. Their price and demand are driven by the lack of trust in the current financial system. As our fiat currency that we are using right now has unlimited supply, gold and Bitcoin has a limited supply. And the introduction of this exchange traded fund has made more people able to access and invest into these assets. So this has driven the price up. However, I think that Bitcoin being said the digital gold is still far from the real traditional gold, as gold demonstrates the safe haven status, holding its value when there's an economic shock and equity market correction. However, Bitcoin is more volatile. It's a high risk asset, so it has a greater downside risk when there's a market correction. So conclusion for my case, I will only allocate 2 to 3% of Bitcoin under my portfolio, and I will prepare some funds to average down at the price level I mentioned in case the correction happens further. This sums up my strategy for the Bitcoin. Thanks for watching. See you next time.